Like it or not, it's Riddler's game now.
I've always loved little puzzles.
What are we looking for? More symbols.
Jesus, his next victim is Bruce Wayne.
It can be cruel, poetic, or blind. But when it's denied, it's violence you may find.
The answer's justice. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be bothering you here, but your people keep telling me you're unavailable. You know, you really could be doing more for this city. Your family has a history of philanthropy, but as far as I can tell, you're not doing anything. If I'm elected, I want to change that. Thank you. My God. I'm gonna go pay my respects. Will you wait for me? I want to continue this. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Chief. Can I talk to you? Gil Coulson is missing.
What?
He hasn't been heard from since last night.
Christ, not again.
Hey, Mr. Wayne. You got people looking for him, Jim?
Sent a couple guys to his house. Nothing.
What does his wife say?
She hadn't heard from him.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car and show your hands! Get out! Get him up! Get out, show him!
Christ, it's Coulson.
There's a bomb around the set!
Let's clear this place out now!
The Batman, rated PG-13.
Welcome back, everyone. This is my new Batman trailer video. There's a bunch of new footage to break down, a bunch of Easter eggs. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We'll do a giveaway for movie tickets. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and just leave your favorite moment from the trailer on the video. I'll start with the new trailer scenes, then I'll talk about Batman's no-kill rule, because as you've noticed from some of the previous trailers, it actually looks like there's a scene of Batman almost killing Riddler and Catwoman kind of freaking out like, oh my god, he's gonna kill this guy. But in the new trailer scenes, Gordon and the police learn that Riddler's next victim is going to be Bruce Wayne. It's probably a little bit later in the movie after Riddler's already killed a couple of the major characters like the mayor and Gil Coulson. Early theory too, Gil Coulson, the district attorney when the movie starts, is the person who has the job before Harvey Dent gets the job. Because part of the story of the Batman movie is inspired by The Long Halloween, and that story is a Harvey Dent, Two-Face origin story. But unless Matt Reeves is pulling a fast one on us, Harvey Dent is not a character in this first new Batman movie. Maybe there'll be some Easter eggs for him. But it sounds like they're setting things up to introduce him in one of the sequels where they'll do a new version of a Two-Face origin story. Because Matt Reeves said one of his big reasons for setting this Batman franchise so early in Batman's career is so that he could do origin stories for a lot of the classic rogues gallery of villains. It's just that in this first movie, Riddler, Penguin, and Catwoman are the biggest ones that they've been hyping in all the trailers. The new scene here with Riddler's collage they're looking at that contains all these clues linking all of his victims, it's meant to be all the powerful people in Gotham that he's targeting in the movie or has already killed when they're seeing this. It's meant to be a more complicated version of this flow chart drawn on the floor. This one just has a bunch of newspaper clippings with headlines and the Riddler's riddles and notes written all over it. These two things are meant to show how his victims are connected. It's just that the one on the floor here does a better job of visualizing that. In a lot of his broadcasts, he does have a sort of manifesto that he parcels out talking about justice in a lot of his riddles, like his justice riddle, if it's denied, it's violence you may find. He's kind of slowly explaining why he's doing everything in his messages to Batman. Like Alfred says, why is he writing to you? Early theory, based on a lot of the other scenes, is because he's figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and they have a connection going back to their childhood, which I'll talk about in a second. But all these victims here, you can see the Dawn here is the mayor, who he's already killed at the beginning of the film. Gil Colson, the district attorney, who we see him kill or get ready to kill during this scene at the mayor's funeral. Carmine Falcone, who he may also wind up killing during the film. Pete Savage is the current police commissioner before Gordon gets the job. He's on the flowchart on the floor here. Then Thomas Wayne, his father. Bruce Wayne is also named here, and he also separately calls out Batman. Because when the Riddler first puts his plan into action, it's already Batman Year 2. So the Riddler, in preparing his plan over the course of a year, has been watching Batman run around Gotham going after criminals for the entirety of Batman Year 1. So after watching him for a year, he probably slowly puts the clues together and figures out that he is Bruce Wayne. That also makes me feel like this is giving off some Hush vibes too, because during the Batman Hush storyline, Riddler is pulling a lot of strings after he figures out Batman's secret identity. But if it wasn't clear from the earlier trailers or my other videos, the common theme linking all these people that the Riddler's trying to get rid of is that he sees them as the true villains in Gotham, the corrupt political figures, other corrupt powerful people. Like a powerful elite group who are doing all these bad things, or as the Riddler sees it, not doing the right things to make Gotham City better. And that connects with the funeral scene where this woman here is talking to him about how he should be doing more philanthropy. Your father gave a lot of money, he did a lot of charity for Gotham, but you are not. So the Riddler's kind of calling Bruce Wayne Batman out for not going after the real criminals. Like, you shouldn't be going after all these street-level thugs, these low-level gangs that you're beating up in the rain here. You need to be going after the true villains in Gotham. The connection between the Riddler and Batman Bruce Wayne that goes back to their childhood, and the reason why Riddler would be calling out Thomas Wayne, gets into the Gotham City orphanage. There's a bunch of pictures of them as children together. This is Riddler as a child, but you also see Bruce Wayne standing next to him, with Thomas and Martha Wayne standing next to all the children. And it just sounds like something really bad happened to the Riddler as a child in the Gotham City orphanage, and he either blames Thomas Wayne for that, or he blames him for not helping when he could have. That might have something to do with the scenes where you see Bruce Wayne talking to Alfred about lying to him. You've been lying to me, Alfred. It probably has something to do with something his father did or did not do. And it just seems like they're trying to draw this connection between them as children and what happened with the Gotham City orphanage. Then getting to the no-kill rule. So like I said, there's the scene of him almost killing Riddler, and obviously he probably does not wind up killing him because Robert Pattinson made this big deal about his no-kill rule. So this is what Robert Pattinson actually said. I'm just paraphrasing him. He said, "There is this rule with Batman. He must not kill. It can be interpreted in two ways. Either he only wants to inflict the appropriate punishment, or he wants to kill and his self-control prevents him from doing so." He goes on to say that when they were working on some of the fight scenes, the way he imagined it, he said, there's something in him, talking about something inside Batman, that wanted to slit this guy's throat. He says, "I told myself if Batman spends his nights chasing criminals, it's impossible that he does not take pleasure in it." So this is probably going to be one of the most vicious, most raw versions of Batman that we've seen in a movie, even though Ben Affleck's Batman did kill people. Like, you talk about the no-kill rule, and they actually just had a big joke about that on the DC Peacemaker series. I did a video about that, so I'll link it in the description below.
You see, Batman doesn't kill people.
Because he's a pussy.
He's a dark creature of the night.
He's a jackass.
When it comes to Batman's no-kill rule, it really just depends on how people interpret that. Different writers or different directors in different movies. Like Michael Keaton's Batman is probably the deadliest Batman. He probably has the highest kill count of any live-action version of Batman so far. But they also just released a new synopsis for the film, which just kind of helps clarify some of the things that are going on and some of the relationships between the characters. It says, 2 years of stalking the streets as Batman, striking fear into the hearts of criminals, has led Bruce Wayne deep into the shadows of Gotham City. With only a few trusted allies amongst the city's corrupt network of officials and high-profile figures like Alfred Pennyworth, James Gordon, the lone vigilante has established himself as the sole embodiment of vengeance amongst his fellow citizens. Matt Reeves said that there are a lot of people in Gotham, because this is still pretty early in his career, who don't totally trust him. They think that he's either a myth or they're just flat out afraid of him. Like they think of him as a crazy man running around in a bat costume just beating people up in the middle of the night. He hasn't really reached iconic status like the older versions of Batman later in his career. Then the synopsis says, when a killer targets Gotham's elite with a series of sadistic machinations, a trail of cryptic clues sends the world's greatest detective on an investigation to the underworld where he encounters such characters as Selina Kyle, Catwoman, Oswald Cobblepot, Penguin, Carmine Falcone, and Edward Ashton, aka the Riddler. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, Batman must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued Gotham City. But if you spotted any other Easter eggs in the trailer that I didn't talk about in the video or my previous trailer videos, just write them below in the comments. There'll be more Batman trailers before the movie comes out. It's not coming out to the beginning of March. My Peacemaker Episode 5 video and my Star Wars Book of Boba Fett Episode 5 video will both post this week just like normal. Make sure you have alerts enabled for my channel so you don't miss anything. There's a bunch of other really big stuff coming up too. And we have a bunch of Super Bowl trailers that'll be dropping in the next couple of weeks. Everyone click here for my brand new Marvel Moon Knight trailer video, and everyone click here for my Eternals Black Panther 2 Easter egg video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.